Hello everyone, I am going to show you how to install Visual Studio Code on your PC. So let's start. To install Visual Studio Code, you need three files. One is Visual Studio Code setup file, another one is the extension file for which programming language you will use Visual Studio Code, and then you need a compiler. So I'm going to install Visual Studio Code for C++. So I have the extension of C++, and all of the files are given here. You can see the description. So at first you need to click on VS Code user setup. So my operating system is 64-bit, so that's why I have downloaded the setup file for 64-bit operating system. If you don't know which operating system is installed in your PC, then you can check. Just right click over here, you will see properties, click on properties. You can see system type 64-bit operating system. If you have the operating system of 32-bit, then you have to download the setup file for 32-bit operating system. So as I have 64-bit operating system, so I have downloaded the setup file for 64-bit operating system. So at first you have to click on this setup file. So I'm going to double click on it, and then you will see this window, and you have to accept the agreement. So I'm going to click on this, then next, and this is the path where the Visual Studio Code will be installed. So I'm keeping it the default, click next, and I'm keeping it as usual, click next. So you can also create a desktop icon. I am checking it, then keeping it default as usual, then click next, then click on install. Then the files will be extracted now. uh, so it will take a little bit of time, and after that you will see the installation is already completed. So you can launch after the finishing. Then you will see this window. Now you can see different options over here, and in the sidebar you can see these options. So this is for extensions. So whatever the programming language you will write in this Visual Studio Code, you have to add the extensions of that programming language. So I'm going to add the extension of C++, because I will use this Visual Studio Code for C++. So I'm going to click on it, and then I will see search extension in marketplace. If you have internet connection, you can also search the extension for your desired programming language, and it will be available over here. But I will add the offline version of the extension. So I'm going to click here. You can see the more action. Then you will see the option install from VSIX. So click on install from VSIX. Then you will be directed to this folder. So you have to select the folder where you have kept the CPP extension. As I have kept the CPP extension in my desktop, so I'm going to open the desktop tools for CPP, this folder, and you can see inside this folder CPP tools Win32. This is the extension for C++, and I'm going to open it. Just select it and then click on install, and you will see the C or C++ extension file is already installed over here. So now another step is left, that is we have to install the compiler. I have already downloaded the installation file for compiler, so I will be installing this one. As this installation file is the online installer, so you have to be connected to the internet. So connect your PC to the internet, then double click on this file. If you see an window to allow this app, click yes. then you will see this window, and this is the MinGW W64 online installer. Click next and getting repository description file. Then you will see settings. Here I am keeping as usual. So this is the destination folder where the installation will be done, and I'm keeping it default. Click next and you will see downloading file, and it will take a little bit of time because the files will be downloaded from the internet. So now click next to continue, then click finish. Now we can see the installation folder, whether the compiler is installed or not. Go to C drive and then find the program files. Then you will see MinGW W64. Open again and open this folder. Then you can see the bin. Right? Open this bin folder. So this is the path for the bin folder of the compiler. So we need to copy this path because we need to add this path to the user variable. So to copy this path, click here and the path will be selected like this. Then right click over here and copy this path. Then go to the user variable and then add this path. So I'm going to user variable. To go to user variable, right click on this PC and you will see the properties. Then click on properties, then you will see advanced system settings. Click here, then you will see environment variables. Click here and then you will see user variables. So inside the user variables you will see a variable path. Click on this variable path, click on this and then edit it, then add a new path. Right click over here and paste the path that I have already copied. Then click on OK and the path is added to the variable. Now click OK, click OK. Now your compiler is installed successfully. So to check whether the compiler is installed successfully or not, to open the command prompt, write cmd, then you will see command prompt over here. Click on the command prompt and the command prompt will be opened over here. To check whether the compiler is installed or not, write g++ space minus minus version, then hit enter and you will see g++ 5.1.0. that means the compiler is already installed successfully. So in this way you can install Visual Studio Code, then you can add the extension for C++, then also you can install the compiler that is required to run the program using command prompt. So now I'm going to open the Visual Studio Code and I'm going to show you how to create a file and run the file as well. So click here or you can search using search box, then click Visual Studio Code and this window will open. In the sidebar you can see the extension, you can also add another extensions. You can see run option, source control and search box. You can search anything using search box and there is an explorer. You can explore the files and folders. So I'm going to click on it and there is no folder. I'm going to open a folder and I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to name it A and then I'm going to select it, select folder. On the right side of the folder name, you can see new file, new folder. You can also create a folder inside this folder. So I'm going to click create a file. I'm going to name it p1.cpp. I'm going to hit enter. And you can see the file is open over here, and you can uh, write your code over here. So I have already written a code, so I'm going to copy and paste it over here. Now to run this code, we need to do two things. One is we have to configure the default build task, and the second one is we need to add a debugger. So I'm going to do the first one. Go to terminal and configure default build task, and then click on g++.exe build active file. Click on this, and you will see this configure file. This is task.json, and you can see the compiler is added already over here. So using this configuration, you can build a single file at a time. So if you want to build multiple files at the same time, then you need to change this one. So instead of file, you need to change this to this one. So now we can build multiple files at the same time. So now I'm going to save it. Save. You can also enable the auto save. So if you click on it, it will be saved. I have already enabled it. Then it will be saved automatically. Now I'm going back to the p1.cpp file. So now I have already configured the default build test. Now I am going to build this one. So go to terminal and run build test. You can also press Ctrl plus Shift plus B. So click on this, and you will see this terminal. So after completing the build, you can see p1.exe is here. That means when I will build, it will create a .exe file. So now I'm going to the second one. Go to run and add configuration, and you can see C++ GDB or LLDB. Click on this, and you can also see g++.exe build and run, build and debug active file. Click on this, and you will see some changes in the terminal. So it is opening the launch.json file. So we are done with the second task as well. So now you can run using this run option, or you can click on here and start debugging, or you can press F5. So I'm going to click on this, and this file will run, and you will see the output on the terminal. So you can see the hello world is printed. So in this way you can create a file and you can run the file as well. So as we have already configured the default build task, so we don't need to configure it again when we will run this file again. For example, I want to change this one. Instead of hello world, it will print hello. So I have changed, so I have to build it first. So go to terminal and run build task, or you can Ctrl plus Shift plus B. I'm clicking here, and it is building again. That means it will create again the exe file. Then we can run again, start debugging. This time we are seeing the hello. Previously hello world, and it is hello. And this is how we can actually create a file in Visual Studio Code and run the file as well. So now I'm going to show you how to run this code using command prompt. So if you have a compiler, then you will easily run a CPP code over here. So I'm going to open cmd enter. So I'm going to the directory where p1.cpp file is there, cd desktop, cd a So before running this program, I am going to change a little bit. Hello everyone. So I'm saving it. Then I'm going back to the terminal. So now I'm going to write dir, hit enter, and you will see p1.cpp is already there. So now I'm going to build it using the compiler. So g plus plus, then minus o, that means what will be the output name. So I'm going to name it only p, and then I'm going to the file which I will be building, so p1.cpp. So if I hit enter, it will build the file. So after building, an exe file will be created. Let's see whether it is created or not. Write dir and hit enter, and you will see p.exe is already there. So now I am going to run this exe file. So just write p.exe and hit enter, and it will show the output. Also you can write just p and hit enter, and it will show the output as well. So this is how we can actually install Visual Studio and add extensions of CPP, and then we can install compiler, then we can run the code, then we can create and run the code inside the Visual Studio Code. Also we can run the code using our command prompt. Thank you everyone.